Half the year has gone and you still have love handles. You're not happy when you look in the mirror, and maybe you feel like you should have worked a little bit harder when it comes to getting to shape over the last few months. The problem is, if you don't acknowledge it and make a change, you're going to end up spending the rest of 2026 making absolutely no progress towards your fitness or fat loss goals. You'll feel disappointed with yourself, you won't like what you see when you look in the mirror, you'll struggle with confidence across all areas of your life, and you might end up finishing 2026 in worse shape than you started. I've created a simple system that means after this video you will have everything you need to finish the year in the best shape you have ever been in. You'll be buzzing when you look in the mirror, your partner's going to fancy you again, and your newfound confidence will bleed across all areas of your life and make you a completely different person. For anyone new around here, hi, I'm Joe, I'm a Team GB gymnast turned fat loss coach, and if at any point during this video you want more information, I've put everything you need to know in order to lose your next pound of body fat over the next 24 days in the first link in the description, and you can grab it for absolutely free. This is the PFL system. P, problem. What is the problem you are currently facing? F, fundamentals. What do we need in order to fix this problem that means you are not losing weight, not losing body fat? And L, lifestyle. What can we put in place to make sure your lifestyle helps you lose weight, lose body fat, not gain it? Remember to grab those tips on the link below because it's going to outline in a little bit more detail what I'm talking about in this video. Starting with P, problem. Firstly, we need to look at what is actually the problem. In order to change or fix anything, you need to know what's going or has gone wrong. When it comes to fat loss, there could be many reasons why the scales won't budge or the inches won't fall off your waist. We're going to look at them today. When I was growing up, I used to really struggle with my weight. I didn't know what to eat, I didn't know when to eat, and I didn't know how much to eat. I had no idea, which meant I ended up being a porky, podgy, young boy doing gymnastics in a leotard, and I absolutely know what it feels like to have no self-confidence or be happy when you look in the mirror. Completely, I understand that. Once I started getting older and I started to understand nutrition and a few key principles, I was able to lose that body fat. I turned my body from fat, podgy chub to muscular, toned and defined. Lots of clients that I work with have so many different problems. Here's Pip. Pip's problem was he didn't know what to do when he went into the gym. He had a good idea of nutrition, how much he should be consuming, what types of food he should be consuming. But when he got into the gym, his confidence just wasn't there. I took Pip from someone who wasn't confident in themselves, didn't even want to step foot in the gym, wouldn't know where to start with a barbell or a dumbbell. And I took him from that into an avid, confident gym goer who maxes out his lifts week on week while completely transforming his body. So to find out exactly what your problem is, you may have heard something that slightly resonated you, whether it was my story or Pip's. I want you to ask yourself the following questions. If you could pick one thing that you think would fix all of your problems when it comes to fat loss, fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, training, whatever it is, what would that one thing be? I want you to write it down, make a note of it. Here's a few ideas that might help you out. Do you know how many calories you should be consuming? Do you know what foods make it easier to stay within your calorie range for the day? Do you know what food groups are more beneficial when it comes to keeping a sustainable diet that means you can lose fat and body weight week on week? Do you have a well-planned nutrition structure that means you don't even have to think or worry that a meal out is going to throw you off the rails? When it comes to training, do you have a structured, progressive routine that is simple but gets the job done? Does it get harder week on week? Or have you been going to the same spin class for 6 years, Sally? Sorry to point it out, Sally, but your physique hasn't changed in 3 years. Is it an accountability problem? Do you just have nobody to be accountable to? Do you keep lying to yourself and just pushing back that start date? I'll start Monday, and Monday never comes. Once you've identified your biggest problem and you've written that down, I'm now going to help you hopefully solve that exact problem. We have identified the problem, and now we're going to look at how to fix it. Before we look at how people create a lifestyle that makes them fat, there's a few things we need to get right first. Now we know what your biggest problem is, we're going to look at some key things in our fundamentals section that if you want to lose body fat, you have to have dialed in. Firstly, nutrition. If you want to lose body weight and lose body fat, you must be in a calorie deficit. This is where you burn more calories day to day than you consume. You burn more energy than you consume day to day putting your body in a state where fat loss is inevitable. Because it is burning more energy than you are putting into it, your body has to use energy from fat stores, which means it will be in the prime, loaded, locked in position to lose body fat and lose weight. When it comes to weight, we need to be really careful at what we wish for. If I was to say you could lose 10 kilograms, all that weight, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. If you were seriously ill or you starved yourself for 6 weeks and you lost 10 kilos, you wouldn't be very happy with how you looked. Our aim to get toned is to lose body fat and keep, develop, and retain as much muscle in those key areas as possible. Which is why, Sharon, it doesn't work when you eat 1,000 calories per day. Your body is in a state of survival. It's clinging on to everything. It's not what we need to do. In my experience as a fat loss coach and a Team GB gymnast who used to be porky when he was a child, here's a few common things that people get wrong with nutrition. They have no idea what they are consuming day in, day out. They just eat whatever they want and hope for the best. They are eating way more calories than they presume. They have no idea just how many calories are in things, and they don't know how to have a good, consistent nutrition structure, which means they can eat nice, tasty food and still remain in their calories and maybe have a glass of wine on the weekend as well. So here's how we're going to solve it. The first thing that I suggest everybody does is do a 3-day food diary. To do this, you need to track and record every single thing you are consuming for the next 3 days. Drinks, food, snacks, cooking oils, everything. You will be very likely mesmerized at the calories you are putting into your body and you're not even aware of. I do this with every client I have just so we can see and we can get an idea of their eating habits, how much they're consuming, what changes they can make to actually make their fat loss journey easier. Once we've done that, we can see actually, okay, what can we change? What can we adapt? Then you need to know how much you need to be eating. The easiest way to do this is to use a calorie calculator. I calculate this for all my clients, but for you guys, just use a calorie calculator. This is going to help you get an idea of how active you are, then how many calories you need to consume day in, day out in order to lose how much weight you want to lose in a certain time frame. A lot of people mess up here and say they want to lose 5 kilograms in a week. The ideal situation is losing a small amount of weight consistently over time, which is going to reduce the amount of muscle mass you lose. If you starve yourself, Phil, it's not going to end well. You're not going to be happy with what you look like. These muscular, chiseled gods like myself, I'm kidding, before you go mad in the comments, on Instagram, they're not starving themselves. Trust me. These calorie calculators can vary, so don't think that if you get a 200 calorie difference between that it's the end of the world. The best way to also measure this is to weigh yourself on Monday. Give yourself a week, weigh yourself in intervals every week to see if the scales are indicating that you're going in the right direction. We don't only look at the scales, like I said before, we have progress pictures and body measurements as well. We're going to have pictures across sites of the body, which are going to make it easy for us to see progress where we're losing body fat. We're also going to take measurements from every single site because that is going to be one of the best ways to accurately track your fat loss. Once we've done all of that, here's my quick cheat codes for fat loss. You are going to learn to make conscious decisions for lower calorie options. This is so basic, but it genuinely works. If when you pick up a meal deal or you're making dinner tonight, pick it up, pick the ingredients up, have a look. And if there is an alternative that's lower calorie and doesn't completely ruin the meal, let's do it. What types of cheese can we use? Milk, but don't be drinking red milk. That's just you. It's better to stay fat than drink red milk. Honestly, I cannot stand that. Sauces, cooking oils. Can we swap it for a fry light? There's so many things we can do just to drastically reduce your calories if you have no idea what you're consuming. Sugary drinks. Can we swap it for a full fat Coke to a Coke Zero? Then, to support our physique and make it actually easier to stay in this deficit, we need to focus on a high protein diet. Often I see people who actually can hit their calories, but their protein's really low. At every meal, every snack, go for some protein. Even getting 5 or 10 grams at each time can massively make hitting your protein target for the day a lot easier. It's going to help with recovery in your training that we're going to talk about in a minute, but it's also going to help your body to repair and build muscle. And these foods are often more satiating, which mean they're going to help you stay fuller for longer. Okay, it's time to talk about training. Why is there a barbell in my room? I don't know. Don't ask me. Keep watching. Here's a few mistakes people make when it comes to training. People think you have to spend 7 hours a day, every day of the week in the gym in order to lose a bit of body fat and be happy with the way they look and feel. This couldn't be further from the truth. People don't know what to do when it comes to training. And I get this. I was in this position myself. When I was a young gymnast starting out, I had no idea what the machines did in the gym, what weights I should lift, and I messed around for years when I could have been making more progress even quicker. People feel that everybody else in the gym is watching them, judging them, and this isn't the case. Everyone, you'll find, actually is more concentrated on themselves than you. I've come up with a really simple solution to help you solve these problems. Rather focusing on trying to go to the gym 5 or 6 times a week, focus on something manageable. A well-executed 2 or 3 gym sessions per week is way better than an inconsistent here, there, everywhere 5 days. When you're in the gym, try and make sure everything you're doing is performed correctly, with control. You're not throwing things around and being dangerous and increasing the risk of injury, and try to work at a good intensity. I see people that have been to the gym for 5 years and they do exactly the same thing week in, week out, and they expect different results, which is, I think, actually the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing again and again and again and expecting a different outcome. The most important thing in the gym is progressive overload. This is gradually increasing the intensity, gradually making things harder as you go. This is the secret to getting better at anything. And this is exactly why I have coaches. If you could lift the bar easily, and all you did every time you went in the gym is lift the bar 10 times, and you did it easy, you didn't even struggle, didn't break a sweat, it was easy. Your body has no reason to change. It doesn't need to adapt. It's not getting more intensity. It's going to stay the same. What you need to do is slowly but surely increase that intensity, whether it's increasing the reps, increasing the weight, whatever it is, reducing rest time over time. And that is going to mean your body and muscles are going to adapt and change in order to match that stimulus or that intensity. And when it comes to what to do in the gym, I've broken down 2, 3 really simple full body workouts that means you can copy these, you can take them, screenshot the video now, you can take them and have 3 workouts or 2 workouts per week to do in your next gym session. These workouts are full body workouts. If you are training 2 or 3 times a week, the best thing you can do is not just do bicep curls, is do a range of exercises that hit different parts of the body. You can gradually make the intensity harder. You can progress them into harder exercises as you go. But here's 3 staple workouts. It's going to work from upper body, lower body, push, pull, bicep curls, of course. This is as simple as it can be, and this is a great place to get you started. If you were training 4 times a week, currently I am training 4 or 5 times per week in terms of weight training. So I like to do an upper, lower split, and they can be varied. You might have different exercises on the first 2 days to the last 2 days. If you're training more than 5 times per week, you probably have bigger biceps than me, and I'd probably watch a different video. Unless you want to work with me, let's do it. And we've got to remember, to achieve fat loss, you don't have to step foot in the gym. The benefits that come with resistance training and building a strong muscular physique is amazing. But just for a couple of pounds, you might not even want to go to the gym at all. And that's fine. Not everybody wants to. No matter your level, I would suggest getting into a resistance training routine for those benefits and building a physique that you actually love. Lots of women say that they want to be toned and then they don't do any resistance training. They don't challenge their muscles in any way. And this is where they get stuck. Okay, we have outlined the fundamentals. Now it's time to look at lifestyle. And how do we create a lifestyle that doesn't keep us fat and makes fat loss easy? A big thing that I think people underestimate when it comes to lifestyle is that they could do a few key things and actually massively help their fat loss and fitness goals. If you can take an opportunity to just become a little bit more active every day, whether it's a walk before school, walking the kids to school, walk on your lunch break, or you get a standing desk, or you get a walking pad at home, or you go and play five-a-side or pickleball with your friends, this can be an amazing way to burn extra calories and make your fat loss on easy mode. People often struggle to be active in the world we live in nowadays, and a simple walk or with your partner or something, an activity, can massively help change that. By far, one of the reasons that people struggle to lose body fat is because they have no source of accountability or skin in the game. I'll be the first person to tell you, I run an online fat loss program. I work with people every day to achieve their fat loss and fitness goals and results. And yes, they get everything they need. They get a nice fancy app with training plan. They get a community. I tell them what to do and how to create a nutrition process that makes it easy and simple to lose body fat. But a massive reason that people succeed and get great results on my program is because they've paid, because they're accountable to me. They know that at the end of the week, if they've not been hitting their nutritional targets, I'm going to be speaking to them. They know that if they've skipped a workout, I'm going to be on at them. Sheila, why have you skipped out lunges again? What are you doing? This is one of the biggest things. Now, I'm not saying you have to have a coach. I'm just saying a coach can help compress that learning time and mean you can get your results quicker. Ways of accountability without having a coach could be a bet you make with your friend that means you really want to stick to your targets, a holiday that you've booked and you want to get into a little bit better shape for, or just a friend that you both go to the gym with. You need someone or a reason to do something. This is why often people suddenly get really dedicated to training after a breakup or they've gone through a hard time in their life, because that forces a change, forces progression. And the biggest thing people struggle with is consistency. I feel like everybody can be good for a couple of days, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. People can get to that point of actually, seeing the first loss on the scales, or someone saying, have you been to the gym? Have you been working out? But where people get stuck is when they don't see a loss. They don't get massive validation straight away that they're making progress. They don't get PBs every session. And it becomes really easy to actually fall off, to have this there and then have that. And then actually suddenly they're back to where they started. It's another reason why having a coach is amazing, because your coach has probably seen that or experienced that with hundreds of people. Small, consistent efforts are better than a quick, intense, short diet, nutritional training process that doesn't last. The PFL system of finishing 2026 in better shape than you started is complete. By identifying the problem, looking at actually how we solve that, and then applying it to your lifestyle, you have just unlocked dieting on easy mode. I look forward to hearing about how you are in the best shape this Christmas. And if you feel like you want more in-depth points that are going to help you lose your next or maybe the first pound of body fat over the next 24 days for free, the first link in the description, you can access them for absolutely free. First link below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe here, and YouTube is going to suggest a video which is probably going to be talking to you about fat loss, fitness, maybe a myth, maybe a misconception. So if you enjoyed this one, you should probably watch that one here.